Would you put your son to Nigerian school to start and finish in Nigerian system of education currently?
I send the guy out of the country. It has been my desire personally to go out of the country and learn something about science.
Definitely, guys.
So
school na scam.
School is not a scam.
Yes. Why?
School is not a
Why
scam.
do you want to send?
School is where learning takes place, either in a structural way or in a way that is not structured. But what makes it school is that it is more structured.
I'm actually talking about Nigerian school from the primary to secondary to tertiary.
When you are talking Nigeria, you are talking the system.
Yes.
Education is not Nigerian based. School is not Nigerian idea alone. It's not Nigerian idea. It's not about Nigerian alone.
Yeah, I get you.
So you are talking man, you are talking humanity, you are talking future. When you are talking, so if I may ask you, what's your definition of school?
Welcome to Tech Trends, and on today's episode we are going to continue on the theme school na scam. My name is still Spirit Philip, and today we are going to be reviewing the Nigerian education system. Trust me, today is really going to be fun and educative because we are going to be talking about the role of vocational training in Nigerian education system. We're going to be talking about the role of government, and we're going to be talking about the future of education. And trust me, my guest is fully ready for you, and I am also ready for him. Okay, so before I unveil him, you have to stay tuned because he is somebody you really need to meet. And trust me, if you meet him in town, peel him. Yes, peel him. All right, stay tuned, guys. We are going to continue shortly. Welcome back, and this is still Tech Trends. Today, I told you we have an important guest in our midst. I'm not going to introduce him. He's going to introduce himself. Welcome, sir. Can you tell us your name and let's know more about you?
My name is Oluwasayo Oladele. I'm an educator, and currently I lead a consulting firm that focus more on teaching people on how they can develop themselves, discover themselves, and live a fulfilled life. Then also instilling into them creativity and innovation. One of the things I think is lacking in the education sector of Nigeria. So in a way, we are trying to bridge the gap. All right, we are trying to bridge the gap of what is lacking in the conventional education system in Nigeria. So that's one of the things we are doing.
Okay, I like that you're trying to bridge the gap in the conventional educational system of Nigeria. Let me start from there.
All right.
There's this trending topic, school na scam. What's your take about it?
Yeah, actually, for me, putting everything into perspective and defining school accurately, defining education accurately, if those definitions are accurate, then I don't think school is a scam.
Okay, Nigerian school, is it a scam or not?
Nigerian school is not a scam. The system for running the school is a scam.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to put me in the middle?
Yes.
Okay, let me start from this place. What did you study in school?
I study chemistry education.
And what are you doing currently?
I teach, but not chemistry.
Good.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Nigerian education system.
All right.
From primary school to secondary school to tertiary, and the correlation to reality, especially. Permit me to sing this song in Yoruba. What's this popular song?
Something related to reading.
There was that song I sang yesterday, and there I was like, yes. I was like, that is not true in this generation.
Anymore, yes.
You can still read that. Because the truth is, we are going to school these days. What is the effect of education to daily living?
Okay.
You are saying school is not a scam. So let me ask, how does school really affect people's reality in real life?
All right. But if you look at Nigeria, for example,
yes,
every nation, every country has what they call their aim and objective of education. And Nigeria as a nation we have our own too. And if you look at it, if you study the national policy, the Nigerian national policy, on paper, those things are there. And yes, they are there on paper, and when you read the paper you feel excited about it, but when it comes to the implementation you see that there's a problem. So the objective is what it is, what they intend to achieve. That's it. So if you look
Yes,
at
that's the issue, the implementation.
The implementation is the issue. But let's go like this. Let's start from the scratch.
Okay.
All right. So if you look at the objective of Nigeria, the philosophy guiding the education system in Nigeria, one of such is that is a statement there that talks about national development and society change. It also talks about self-development, maximizing potential, and also he mentions in that policy of education, you will see something stated related to seeing to it that what is learned in school has a way of meeting the need of society. All these things are on paper.
But the truth is,
yes,
can we really produce up to standard useful resource person in the society from our education system?
Yes, we can.
No, I disagree.
We can.
Because thousands of graduates finish every year,
yes,
with nothing to do with their life. Definitely,
yes,
what they are learning in school is useless.
Yes, if you are looking at what they are learning in school, I said something. If you look at the philosophy of education in Nigeria, I think the number 5 was talking about that education is quantitative, qualitative, and it should be directed towards the need of the society. On paper.
But when I was in school.
Waiting. Now, look at what we are learning. Now, this is my own view. I believe that learning should be indigenous.
Okay.
There are a lot of things. Yes, we have to actually raise a learner that can compete at the global level. I agree with that, yes. But actually, when you are talking about global level, you will see that the indigenous culture, the indigenous part is important. Look at some other countries like China. Their language, for example, in learning, plays a long role. And you will see that there is the instrument of their culture into what they are learning.
But now, in Nigeria, when you speak your language, it's a vernacular.
Wait. Wait.
Okay.
This is where I'm going to.
All right.
Now, if you look at, let's say I study chemistry now. There are some things they taught us in school, and you keep wondering, how can I apply this? How can I apply this? I used to joke. I used to say, I just talk about it jokingly to some of my friends. I said, I should go to Abali's class. Go and learn about ABBA. It's more better than what I came here to do when I was on campus. Because I told myself, I said, the only part I can see, that is more practical to me is the education part. So I told myself, even before finishing my school, I said, I'm going to do my master's in education. If I want to study anything related to science, it's going to be out of this country. Why? Because they have more infrastructures, they have more something real. So atomic bomb, how many of it do we have here? Come on. So, so I said that what we are doing in our laboratory as a chemistry student, because on campus then, we used to do laboratory experiment. I said, if they give it to someone, maybe you should use what we produce. That if the person take it, the person is going to die, and when the person get to heaven, the angel will send him back. There is no place to enter. Why? Because the chemical you took in is so corrupt and so bad. I understand what you are trying to say, but I'm saying that if we can implement it in the right way, we can get results.
Okay, coming to the question of implement. Actually, I can relate with your story because
yes.
I watched a YouTube video yesterday, and then I saw a teacher pour some kind of chemical. I'm not a science student. Pour some kind of chemical into the funnel, and then the thing blew up, and then all the students were like, "Hey!"
Yes.
Then they now cut the video, say, "Come to Nigeria."
Yeah, I think I saw it.
They now drew it.
Yes, say, it's more of the drawing.
If you pour it, technically it will blow. I was like,
I thought,
what is going on?
Yeah.
Where is this fault coming from? Is it that we don't have enough resource
person
as teacher, or the government is not playing their role in part of providing the necessary equipment? What is wrong here? Where is the missing point?
Yeah, the missing point for me is resources. You have to look at, when you are talking about the education, for me, I look at it from 5 perspectives.
Okay.
1, the objective of the nation in terms of education, the objective and philosophy of the nation. Number 2, you have to talk about the learner. You have to talk about that's the student. Then you have to talk about the teacher. Mm-hmm. Then you have to talk about the government. And the major role the government have to play when it comes to education of a nation is policy making and funding, and then monitoring.
I think that's where we are missing it.
So that's it. So monitoring, policy making, and funding. Yeah. So if the government are playing their role, they are not going to be the one to be in class. They have to monitor the teacher. You have to monitor the learners too. So is that taking place?
These teachers, do you even think they can mix this chemical in reality? Do they even have the right resources?
Yeah. There was a psychologist. His name is David Osube, and one of the theory he proposed was he was trying to talk about is he doesn't want root learning. Root learning is when you learn theoretically and there is no implementation.
That's
of it.
Nigerian system of education.
Wait, my brother. If you look at the national policy, this psychologist, like I mentioned, is one of the scientists that and the psychologists that Nigeria use when they adopted his theory. Let me put it that way, in teaching chemistry in chemistry class.
Okay.
So that means their intention is that, according to David Osube, that when you are in class, your learning should not be rote learning. Your learning should be more practical in terms of it initiates your critical thinking. But when you look at it in Nigeria, the factor that is missing is where can I do the practical of these things? What can I use to do the practical of these things? But when you look at some of our teachers, when it comes to, because the question you ask is, are our teachers even, can they do it? They can do it if they have the resources available. Because if you see them talking about the theoretical aspect, you know that this guy knows what he's saying. So you can't talk about practical without first understanding the theory.
That's true. But you can be actually very vast theoretically,
yes,
and cannot prove your
very well.
So because that's the missing link. That's the first missing link for Nigerian graduates. We are very good with theories, and then when it comes to real life practical, because we've never handled one before.
Yes. We have to have, now when you are talking about practicals, you are talking about problems.
Yes.
So when you talk about problem, there is one method of learning, if I can remember. I think it's called project-based learning. Okay. All right. If you read about it, project-based learning is more of a learning style whereby the learner is subjected to creative thinking, such that it can bring about innovation, create new from the idea he already has. It can solve problem. So we are thinking about problem. So I think the issue with the education system in Nigeria is that we are not amplifying problem, but we are amplifying certificate.
That's the point. Thank you.
Yeah. We
don't amplify problem. We amplify. Everybody shall want to.
So yes. So once you have this, what they want. Yes. When you said going to school is not problem solving. I mean, should be problem solving.
Yes.
But going to school in Nigeria is certificate.
So definitely school is a scam. Because someone who doesn't go and waste his time in school, who actually goes into vocational training, let's even talk about that. I think what we should focus rather is, because we have technically all the resources for vocational training at our reach, but when it comes to the real education, I mean Western education, when it comes to physics, chemistry, biology, everything that has to do with health and every other aspect, even creativity, all these cinematography and the likes, Nigerian system of education, I'm not sure we are really ready for it. Why don't we just venture into investing into vocational training? What can you say about that? How do we balance that side?
Yeah, investing in vocational training, you look at some schools are trying to, the issue is implementation. Because if you look at some of our schools, they are there. Vocational trainings are there. If you read the national policy, vocational training is there. It's part of what they have to learn. So, but the issue is still implementation. And what is limiting the implementation for me is funding. Funding. Resources are not made available. So imagine, there is a school, I'm not going to mention the school, that I think they are trying to bring in the corrections, to maybe giving. Now, if you see the mindset of some schools in Nigeria, the reason why they want to give us vocational training is not necessarily problem solving in the society.
Okay.
It's money.
They want to make money.
Money. We are thinking now, if you see someone talking to you and I say that, your certificate, how many of you want, how can you need to get your master, get your PhD before you can start applying for a job. But for the meantime, you can get one vocational skill that you can actually trade on your own, because you don't have to necessarily register. Nobody's collecting tax from you in Nigeria like that. You get, so it's something you can do self-employed. Do you understand?
Yes.
So what is still motivating us is the need for money.
That's the truth. That's why everybody's existing. Everybody wants to make money because you need money for survival.
Oh, that okay. Okay, let's take innovators, creative people, think future of humanity, solution of humanity first before money.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
But then this is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria. That is why
Survivor is needed.
if you are thinking survivor, we can't meet up with the global standard.
Oh my God.
Yes. If you are
This
thinking
is
survivor, we can't meet up with the global standard
Okay, if we are
Yes.
thinking survivor, we can
Yes.
meet up with the global standard.
of innovations. I mean,
I
so
get you.
Because
I get you.
yes,
But then we still cannot accept that school is the way to meet up the global standard of innovation.
yes,
Because technically today, all the people, don't let me say all, the highest percentage of people that are making wave to the world standard from Nigeria are not, in quotes, the educational people.
Yes.
They are people who actually went through the route of self-learning,
Self-learning.
outside the Nigerian school system, which
Alright.
is not supposed to be so.
Okay.
And that is why the quote is coming that, okay, you don't actually need to go to school to become somebody in life.
Alright.
So what can you say about that theology? Or let me put it this way. Would you put your son to Nigerian school, Nigerian system of education now,
Okay.
to start and finish in Nigerian system of education currently?
At the primary and the secondary level, I think we are still good.
Okay.
For
So
me,
at
at the tertiary level, I think is something else. So I prefer putting my child into a private school of good reputations and results because
for university, right?
for university, or I send the guy out of the country. It has been my desire personally to go out of the country and learn something about
So
science.
definitely, guys,
So,
school na scam.
School is not a scam.
Yes. Why?
School is not a
Why
scam.
do you want to send
The
your
system
son out
of now let's wait. Then let's and I said something. I said definition of terms is important. We have to be on the same perspective when it comes to our definition.
Okay.
If I may ask you, I don't ask me, but if I may ask you, what's your definition of school?
I'm actually talking about Nigerian school from the primary to secondary to tertiary.
So when you are talking Nigeria, you are talking the system.
Yes.
So if education is not Nigerian based,
Mm-hmm.
school is not Nigerian idea alone. It's not Nigerian idea. It's not about Nigerian alone.
Yeah, I get you.
So you are talking man, you are talking humanity, you are talking future. When you are talking, so school is where learning takes place, either
Yes.
in a structural way or in a way that is not structured. But what makes it school is that it is more structured. So the issue is with the system that is running the schooling system. I mean the school in Nigeria.
Yes.
So
And that's
when
what I
you
have
go,
problem with.
when you say that school is a scam, I rather prefer to say that the educational system in Nigeria or the education system running Nigerian school is a scam.
Okay.
I won't want to hear the word school is a scam. Because yes, I'm an educator and my focus is more of okay. I won't. If you say that, if someone from outside is hearing, you'll be like, okay, what are you trying to say? I'm not expressing that. I'm not expressing that.
Yeah.
School for me is not a scam.
Okay, guys. I think we need to take a little bit relaxation right now because this guy is trying to prove to me that school is not a scam. Well. You want to use English to bobo me?
It's
I'm
not
still
English.
coming
It's
back
not
for you.
English. It's not English. It's not
I'm
English.
coming back for you. So let's go on a short break. All right, guys, welcome back, and we are still discussing on the same topic, school na scam. And this man is trying to manipulate me, saying school na scam. Sometimes saying school is not scam.
No.
I don't understand. Now, let's even go straight to the point.
Okay.
What are we supposed to do right now? What's the way forward? What's the future of Nigerian education system? Should we still hope some magic can still happen, or what do you think is the missing point, and how do we go about it from here?
Yeah, the missing point, let me start from there, is let's identify the problems, all right? We need hand-on solution-based means of evaluation,
Okay.
not just A4 paper. Now, even if you are giving me A4 paper, there are practical solutions that I can see, to attest to that. Say you cannot be carrying your project all around to show that you've done something that validates that indeed you have learned something.
Mm-hmm.
So when that is not there, then before you can give someone a certificate, there should be practical. And that is the reason for projects that we do. but most of the projects are just, we don't do it. I mean, there is nothing we are doing. Then there should be continuity of those practicals. You should not just stop. For example, on your project theory, your project topic, your thesis and the like. So there should be continuity. When you stop, someone should criticize it, someone should continue from where you stop. So I believe that should help.
Yeah, because I'm afraid by the time people like us start giving birth, the kind of doctors Nigeria we have, hope it's not YouTube that they will go and be watching those.
No, really.
To be treating you, because the way Nigerian education, to be realistic, is really, really sad. The way Nigerian education is going, people are just reading to pass. People are not really learning practically.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, the medical line is even the most, still, I mean, the education there is still fair enough because there's room for real practical, as you said, but the way it's even going now, it's growing worse. People are paying their way out of school, and they want to get a job. And I mean, we're talking about humans' life here. So that is even because it's related. Like, what about other aspect that is not related to life, but it still bounces back to life? So I accept that. But then, what do you think about the future of Nigerian education in relationship to technology?
Yeah, in relationship to technology, there is something called blended learning, whereby there is a combination of both online learning and traditional learning. And I think also we are in the digital world. You can learn a lot of things on the internet. My perspective about the internet is that the internet is the richest library we can ever have in the civilization of humanity. And you can get, one of the benefits is the blended learning, combining traditional learning with online learning. Then also you can have resources made available for you. I mean, rich resources, you can easily get them. You know, you go to YouTube, but the case about self-learning is that there might be trial and error, and it takes more time.
That one is
and that is where community building comes in, whereby you can have a community of people that have practice and they can guide you.
Do you think the Nigerian system of education is ready for technology education?
On paper, we are ready, but funding and policies and practicals, we are not ready.
So what's the way out of the current dilemma of Nigerian current system of education? How do we proceed from here?
Yeah, if you are changing the system, you have to focus on the factors that are leading those systems. Like I said, the learner, the teacher, the government. If you keep pointing to the government alone, then we are not doing the great job. We have to focus on the teachers. For example, there should be a proper orientation for teachers. Then also learning should be so much structured in such a way that it can help individual learning style. There are individual differences in learning. So you have to observe that learner and look at areas where they can do well. Instead of forcing them, you have to go for science, you understand? So, I believe that, it should be all around. Yes, government should fund, government should formulate policy. I also believe that teachers should be taught. We can have campaigns, seminars for teachers. Then they do it on paper. And the case is then the monitoring, implementation, monitor, in such that that's where corruption comes in. When you look at the definition of corruption, is like corruption is maybe I think there's a way this dictionary puts it, every act of fraudulence from people that are in position of power. And that, a teacher is in power, the class captain is in power. So not just the government. So if you say the government is corrupt, what about a teacher that needs to come to class and is coming in a particular time and is not even teaching what he or she is supposed to teach? So the corruption is what needs to be dealt with. And I think private sector can do that. I'm suggesting
by private sector, you mean?
Yes, I'm suggesting that we should have private educational institutions. Okay. Yes, that should be able to help. If the government are not implementing, if corruptions are there, if you have something private, you have to produce results.
Okay, like a system that monitors school.
No, not just, we have some bodies that monitor schools.
But they are government bodies.
They are government bodies.
Okay,
so I'm saying that saying that I will suggest that private schools.
Okay.
Yeah, but the problem of that is education is costly. Yes, if you want to get the results, education. So you can't fund it if you start a private school with a good intention that you want, practicals and the like. How do you fund it? From the people. So an average people in the society will not be able to pay for that price of school.
True.
So the problem is I'm proposing that if the government are not doing their role, we can have private institutions. Then we can also have NGOs that can, in a way, identify those issues and help, people while they are still going to their normal conventional schools with the corrupt system. You can have NGOs, maybe educational consulting firms, like I'm doing. There are some courses we give to students. We don't collect money from them.
Supplementary courses.
Yeah, supplement. Just remedial trainings like that. I mean, you're just trying to correct what is lacking in that system because we don't have enough fund. How do I get money to get a laboratory of chemistry set up? That's it. So when they say that private universities are collecting some monies that is too much, yes. So if I can afford it, I will give my child the best. I will send the child to a private school, or I send them to an environment where there are all these resources for learning that are made available.
So, in conclusion, because we're already running out of time, in conclusion, I would love to ask, at what point, you mentioned it the other time, but I wanted to make a stretched emphasis on it.
Okay.
At what point do you advise, because of the current situation of the country, at what point do you advise an average parent to siphon their child or their children from the Nigerian system of education into something more serious, maybe a private school, as you say, or out of the country?
Our institution, tertiary institutions.
Okay.
Because what primary school is all about, learning English, logics, and that's summary. When you get to secondary school, they are just trying to help you to get you attracted to art, psychologies, commercial and the likes. But where the real work is in the high institution. So if you already have that in your primary school, which I think to some extent some schools can still get that for us, then when it comes to tertiary institution, send your child to a private school.
Okay, for somebody who doesn't have the money to go to private school, they should go and learn work. If they want to survive.
You don't hear? Or they do self-learning, self-education, self-learning. Go online,
I'm telling
read,
you the truth.
Go online, read on your own. Yeah, self-learning.
You know you really need the certificate. I think there's a school called National Open University.
Yes.
You can go and learn it and
now it
get
comes
the certificate.
Now comes with a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Yes, now it comes with a lot of money. So I even prefer go to YouTube, get data, and belong to a community, right? And learn basic things you can learn.
It is well. Thank you very much, Mr. Shayo.
Yeah.
I hope next time when we invite you, you'll be here on this show. So, guys, we are still on this topic. It never finish. School na scam. Abi school no be scam. You don't hear. Once you want to enter university, borrow yourself some brain. Don't go and waste 4 years in vain. Even if you want to go to university, learn a course that you know that you can still manage something.
Yeah.
All of you learning mathematics. Me, I will tell you, you are learning mathematics
biology,
in Nigeria.
Is a lie.
Okay.
Is a lie.
See you in our next episode. Thank you.